Okay, so the stream is on. It's working, functioning as it's supposed to be. So let's get started. And before that, yeah, so it's gonna be the same. Learning how to code with Python. Let's get it done. Okay, so last time we were at this Caesar cipher code in here, and we're gonna need to fix it. Okay, so the first thing that I have to fix, which is to not repeat this amount of code in here for the while loop. If there is a better way to ask the user to play again or to encode or decode again. So let me just make a new tab with Gemini 3. Ask him, is there a better way to make this function with its variables repeat? And let's see if there is a better way. Maybe because when you are repeating the code, it's not as optimal as if it was less and lightweight. So here, while true, direction equals etc, input text shift, call your function Caesar etc, restart equals input type yes, no. So if restart equals to no, then print goodbye, and then we're gonna break it. Okay, so this is way better than using this mechanism in here. So I'm just gonna edit this and paste this code, which is way better. So we are using while true, which is an infinite loop. And if we had this situation, then we are going to break this while loop, which is for an infinite true. And this breaks it in this case, so which is very good. Okay, so the next thing that I'm trying to catch right now is what happens if the user enters a number, symbol, or space. So let me troubleshoot and see what happens to the code. So I'm going to type here encode. I'm going to type the message as hello 1 2 3. Then I'm going to type the shift number, which is 3. Then we're gonna have this error, which is value 1 is not in the list. So I guess the solution for this is to add numbers and symbols to this list. So it's pretty obvious. So I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna add here a comma, and I'm gonna ask AI actually, because why do the hard work if AI could generate it? Could you add numbers and symbols to this list? And then the AI is gonna just generate for us a better list that has more than just alphabets. Okay. This is taking a little while, but it's gonna function. I believe in that. So he's thinking a lot. Analyze in symbol section, define a symbol set, etc. So here we go. So generated a space list as well, if there was a space. Okay, so we have this list. Okay, a much cleaner way to write this, instead of typing every character out manually with quotes and commas, You can use a Python strings and convert it to a list. It is much faster to type and easier to read. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. So we're gonna use it as this. Or better, because if there is a problem in our list, then we could actually troubleshoot it. So we're just gonna use a list like this. Beautiful. Okay, so let me see if this works. Okay, so we are going to encode. My message is gonna be hello 1 2, and I'm gonna add a symbol. The shift is gonna be 1. Okay, so we have this results. Let's check it out if it's correct or not. Okay, so for H, if E, F, M, and P, it's true. For space, we have N. Let's go to space. So this is wrong. Interesting. So this doesn't function as it's supposed to be. And for 1, which is C, okay. No, so this doesn't function as it's supposed to be, even if we made this list like this. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna go to the course and see why this problem happens. So let's troubleshoot this. So we have 3 passing there, and we are at part 5, so it is the last part. Okay, so this one, reorganizing our code. So we're gonna see what happens.
We're really close to the finish line. I know today is quite a long day, but just bear in there. You're gonna get there really, really soon. So the last part of our Caesar.
Maybe there is a hint in here. So what happens if the user enters a number, symbol, space that's not in the list alphabet? You can fix the code to keep the number, symbol, space when the text is encoded or decoded. For example, okay. So let's check the hint. Okay, let's see. If it's not a letter in the list alphabet, maybe you can just add it to the end of ciphertext as a unmodified character. Okay, so rather than translating these characters or making this new list, we could just this kid we could just use a normal alphabet list, which is this one, and let me just fix it. Beautiful. Okay, that's done. So okay, so that's done in here. So rather than translating these numbers and using them for the list, we could just catch the space and numbers and symbols and not encode them, or not encode and not decrypt. So for this case, maybe we could so let's see. So we're here taking the characters from the text, and then we are assigning this character and finding the alphabet. Okay, beautiful. So before this for loop, we're going to check if the character is equivalent to so before that, maybe we could make a list in here. Maybe we could say space is going to be equivalent to, hold on a second, space string, and then we're going to have a list. It's going to be numbers, and we're going to list this string and we're gonna make a string. Yes, that's true, from 0 to 9. And then we're gonna have symbols. Yes, that's true. So these are the symbols that we could input. So using this and this, we could actually catch the character and skip it. Okay, so if the character n space or n, or if character n numbers, or if character n symbols. Okay, so here we have a problem. Okay, we shouldn't have a column in there. Okay, beautiful. So if this was the case, then we could just skip it. How to do this actually is to interesting. We could actually append it to the decrypted text. So we're gonna use this decrypt text.append. Then we're gonna add the character directly. So beautiful. That's beautiful. So we're gonna catch this case, and then we're gonna catch it in here as well. If statement, beautiful. This one's gonna be encrypted text, like this. Okay. Okay, so let's test this out. So we're gonna type encode. The message is gonna be hello one, then a symbol. The shit is gonna be 1. Oh my god, we have a problem. Okay, interesting. Oh, so this is not a list. Valuer is not in list. Ah, okay, that's interesting. What's happening? Let's use Thonny to see what happens to this code. So yeah, we're gonna use Thonny for this. Thonny we could actually debug, because this is a lot of lines of code, so it's gonna help us. Okay, it's debug. Okay, no problem. I'm just gonna delete this. We don't need that. Okay. We could step out, move. Beautiful. So while true, we are taking the direction. Beautiful. So the direction is gonna be in code. We're gonna go, okay, so we took the encode direction. The text is gonna be, okay, so we're gonna have this prompt. Beautiful. It's gonna be in code. Or it's not gonna be in code. It's gonna be hello one and a symbol. Okay, like this. Let's see. Let's enter. Okay. I don't know why this doesn't work. Okay, beautiful. So we have entered the value. Now we have to enter the shift, which is gonna be 1. Okay, let's enter it. Beautiful. So we have all the variables. It's gonna replace it in the parameters of the function, the inputs of the function. And after that, we are gonna go and execute the function. So we have this space that we have the error with. Then we have a list of numbers. Okay. And then we have a list of symbols. Okay. And then we have, so this case is not right, so it's false. So we're gonna skip it. Okay, so we're gonna go to this case, which is encode. So let's see where is the problem at. Okay, beautiful. We have an empty list, which is encrypted list. And here we have the original text list. Okay. Beautiful, which is a hello, etc. We are taking that variable and converting it to a list. Beautiful. And assigning it to this variable in here, list variable. And then we are checking for the first character in the for loop, which is h, and we see if h in space or char or etc. We are checking if it's in there or not. So it's false. This one is false as well, and this one is false as well. So we are going to skip this if statement because it is false, and we are going to execute this. So yeah. Oh my god, what happens? Oh no, what happens? And we have the error. This is problematic. Can't I get back? Come on. Okay, let's rerun it again. Type in code. Message is gonna be hello, one in a symbol. Okay, we're gonna enter that. Shift is gonna be 1. Okay, it's problematic. Let's step out from this. Being codes. Message is gonna be hello. The symbol, the shift is gonna be 1. Okay, why can't we debug this? Step over. Okay. Okay, so we're going to debug this again. Codes. Okay, beautiful. The message is gonna be hello on the symbol. Beautiful. We enter that, and then going to enter the shift number, which is 1. We enter that. Okay. So we are debugging all of this. So we have seen this. We are comparing this is true. We are taking that list. We are comparing the H. The H letter is not what I'm willing to debug right now. Okay, so why am I making all of this pain on myself? I could actually just stop and run this again. Step into, step over, step out, step over, okay, step into. Beautiful. Here I'm gonna choose encode. So I'm gonna troubleshoot this really quicker. If I change the text to number 1, for example, or a space, then number 1. Let's see. And we go and we see how this is gonna turn out to be. The shift is gonna be 1. Okay. Okay, let's see. So we are going to troubleshoot this. I'm not gonna use G code, we're going to use encode. Okay. Beautiful. So this is true. Encrypted text is an empty list. And the original list is gonna be 1, which is a space and 1. Okay, so here we are going to troubleshoot this. So we are taking the space and we are checking if the space in this space, where is it? Yes, in this space variable, which it is assigned to this. So let's see where is the error at. Okay, beautiful. And space is gonna be true. This is gonna be true. Yes, correct. Beautiful. So this is true. We are going to take this space and we are going to add it to our encrypted text. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, this should work, isn't it? So let's see what happens. So it is an empty list and we are adding a space to it. So this should work. Yes. We get a none. Why do we get a none? Ah, interesting. Why didn't we add this to the encrypted text? Interesting. Ah, okay. That's very interesting. So this is the spaces that has been added. Okay. So if this if statement is true, then we should skip this sentence. So this is the error. If we skip this sentence, then it's gonna be solved. Okay, interesting. So I'm just gonna go and troubleshoot this. I'm gonna just type in here stop. I'm gonna ask the AI right now to help me in the syntax. So let's say if this statement is true, okay, let's go here to AI. Let's say if this if statement is true, then let it execute its set of commands, then let the for loop take the next character and not okay, so let's see. So for char and text blah blah blah, we are going to check for this case. If it was true, then we are going to the next character, because we already have added this to the encrypted text. Okay, so this is the error. We're looking for the continue keyword. When Python sees continue inside the loop, it immediately stops running the current code block and jumps back to the top of the loop to grab the next character. Okay, beautiful. So I'm gonna use continue. This tells Python we are done with this character, move to the next one. Okay, beautiful. So if this if statement works, then we are just going to continue. Beautiful. So we're gonna go here, then we're gonna add continue, and this should make my code do the right thing, okay, without any error. In code, the message is gonna be 1 and a symbol and a space. The shift is gonna be 1. Okay, beautiful. So this works. Okay, see, we have encoded hello, and the space has not been encoded, as well as the symbols in here. So I'm gonna say yes to decode this result. I'm gonna type decode. I'm gonna type my message. I'm gonna grab it from here, copy it. Oh my god, what happened? I didn't copy it. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna choose decodes. I'm gonna type my message. I'm gonna make the shifts to be 1. Okay, what's the problem? I didn't fix it in the decode function. That's why. Because I'm gonna fix the error in here as well. Okay, beautiful. Then I'm gonna launch this script. Choose the code. Message is gonna be this, which is hello space one and add a symbol. Okay, the shift is gonna be one, and we have our code decoded. Okay, our message has been decoded. Beautiful. So I could just shut down the program, and that was it. Beautiful. So this is fully functionable, and by that the project is done. Okay, so we are at day 9. So my goal is to go through day 9 and day 10 for this live stream. And if I could add an hour or two, then we're gonna go for day 11. If not, then we are going to not do it. Okay, here we have from day 16 to 100. Interesting. What are the rest of the days? Main.py. What is this? From day 16 onwards, you will be creating your own PyCharm projects from scratch. Instead of using templates that I have created for you, it will be another step in your journey as a developer. But don't worry, I will explain how to do everything in the video tutorials on Udemy. Okay, so because this is an open source project, you can find it on PyCharm. She can't just add all the days, because if she did that, she's gonna be selling her course for free, and people will know that and not buy her course on Udemy. So for this case, she didn't make the templates for the rest of the days, which is good for me because I'm gonna make the projects on my own, on scratch, which is also her help is not helping me a lot. For example, if I went here, what she just did is actually giving me a list. And let's see, for example, the first thing, or maybe the third thing. Yes, in here she gave me just this variables and a list. That's it. And I had to make this function by my own. So the most difficult work I do on my own, and she just gives me this, which is not that important, and it's very easy to craft. Okay, so for day 8 it's done. Then we're gonna go to dictionaries and we're gonna learn about them on Udemy. But before that, I'm gonna take a small break, 15 minutes maximum, and we're gonna see the course together. But before I take the break, I'm just gonna go and hover to the last video on the day, which is gonna be a celebration that we have made this project, and a message from the teacher.
Hey, well done for completing day 8. Now, somewhere along this journey, you will feel a dip in your motivation. It might happen around now, it might happen later. But what you got to think about is what really motivates you. Why are you doing this? What is learning this skill going to do for you? What is it going to do for your family? It might be that
it's gonna do a lot. First of all, Python is very important. It's being used in AI models, it's being used in hacking, it's being used in automation, it's being used like data science, manipulating data, etc. So I'm gonna need this if I'm willing to be successful at anything. So Python is a brick that I have to break before I get myself ready for the IT world. And it's gonna be helping a lot because I'm gonna combine it with NaN, and through that, so here we could see our let me just check my containers. So hold on a second. Beautiful. So if we checked our containers, I'm going to use it with where is it? Hold on, yes. So I'm going to use it with NaN, and I'm going to make a lot of automation with Python. So it is very important to learn Python ASAP. It's going to help me with exploiting machines, CTF, etc. So it's a very important skill to get. Okay. After that, maybe JavaScript is gonna be helpful as well, because it is a necessary language for a web browser API. So for example, if you are willing to go in Bug Bounty, then JavaScript is necessary, because it is the foundation to actually understand that code and find vulnerability, etc. So this is extremely important for me, and I have to learn this skill ASAP. And because there is this Udemy course in here, it just makes such a huge privilege for me to get this. And thank you, teacher, for this course. It is very cheap, affordable, and one of the best courses, because you actually develop your own projects. You think like a developer, and she doesn't help you at all. You could actually cheat, but I don't. I try to put that challenge to understand how the logic functions, how Python statements function with each other, and that's why I use Thony a lot. And if I'm stuck with syntax, rather than going to Google and googling that, I just use AI in a manner that it doesn't spoil to me how I could do this project. It just gives me hints on syntax, because I'm not a robot, I'm a human, and I cannot remember Python syntax forever. So having this reference, using AI or using Google for syntax, it is good. But the most important foundation in coding, it is actually problem solving and the logic. If you got this, then the syntax is not that important, because the syntax just changes from Python to other programming languages, but the thing that stays with you is problem solving and the logic and the structure that's used on development, etc. So yeah, that's very important to grasp, and that's what I'm trying to get out from this course, because it's gonna help me along my journey, and I'm documenting this through YouTube. So yeah, it gets me. It's I'm staying disciplined because I'm doing this live streams. I have discipline. I have a point of reference, and through that I built also my portfolio, so I could show off what I did to, for example, an employer or a company. For example, if I got these skills, then I have to show the hours that I have put into learning. So, and maybe into making my own projects, and making my own ideas as well. So this is very important for me, and that's why I am not stopping until I get it done. So yeah, and because of that, I might just do tomorrow another stream. It's gonna be 24 hours straight coding, and we are going to kill all of these days, like all of these. Like we're gonna see a whole day doing all of this. So I guess by after tomorrow we're gonna go and finish day 30 with no any problems. So yeah, we are going to sacrifice all the time for learning Python, and after that we could be actually free to employ this skill using other targets, like exploiting CTF or automation, using AI agents, etc. So yeah, that's very important, and I'm gonna just take my break right now. So we're back. Okay, perfect. So let's continue.
You want to get a better paying job. It might be that you just hate your current job and you want to do something that you actually enjoy, like programming. Or maybe you want to start your own business and you need the skills to be able to build the product that you're going to sell. So have a think about what drives you, why you're doing this. Write it down on a piece of paper. Put it up on a wall so that you can see it every day when you wake up. And maybe comment in the box below so that other people can cheer you on and you can be motivated and also motivate others. So have a think about that, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Perfect. So let's start the next day.
Hey, welcome back. It's day 9 of 100 Days of Code. And today we're going to be learning more about Python dictionaries and nesting. And by the end of today, you will have built a silent auction program. We all know that there are auctions where everybody bids and you can see everybody else's bid, and the auctioneer gets you to bid higher and higher values. Now,
Okay, that was a scary soundtrack. Okay, so we are doing some bid on some items. So we're building something similar to that.
there's also a type of auction called a silent auction, where everybody bids silently and no one knows the other person's bid until at the very end of the auction, where the highest bid is revealed. That's what we're going to be building. And if you want to check out the final program, you can head over to this URL right here. And here you'll
Okay, so let's get to this URL. Let's get into it. We are in day 9. There is not a single link. Okay, what about here? Just delete that. Here's see this, how this is functions. Okay, so this is the demo. Let's run it. Okay, my name is web. Okay, what is my bet? My bet is gonna be $100. Are there any other bidders? Type yes or no. Yes. There is other bidders. There is Mr. Robot, and he bets $10,000. Yes, there is one last bidder, which is I don't know, bet. And his bet is gonna be $0. Okay, that's all. So the winner is Mr. Robot with a bet of $10,000. Yay! That's very simple and pathetic, but let's build it.
Right, so the first thing I want to talk about is dictionaries in Python. Now, dictionaries in Python work kind of similarly to dictionaries in real life, right? So if you were to look up a word in the dictionary, say the word code, then you might find the definition as something along the lines of program instructions for the computer. And dictionaries are really useful because they allow us to group together and tag related pieces of information. The way I like to think about dictionaries is in the form of a table. Every dictionary has two.
Okay, interesting. So here we are learning the program instructions, which is good. So here we are learning about dictionaries. We have keys and values. Okay, let me explain dictionaries in my own way. So a dictionary for me is like, let's say we have a game and we have maybe a set of attacks that the player could use. So maybe we have light attacks, okay? Light attacks. And we could assign that to a dictionary. Interesting. So hold on a second. So the first attack is gonna be knife stab, knife, or just a normal stab like that. Okay, and it's gonna cost you maybe 10 of damage. Let's see. Okay, 10 damage. And maybe we're gonna have another light attack, which is magic. Magic ball, maybe. And it's gonna be it's gonna cost you 5 damages. So yes, so this is a dictionary for me, which is rather than writing, for example, assigning these variables that don't have magic ball is magic ball. So rather than typing this, and maybe you have thousands of lines of code and you need to call one of these variables, then you just cannot do it unless you employ a dictionary. So a dictionary just assembles a set of variables that have something in common. And the thing that is common in this dictionary, it is light attacks. So a stab is considered a light attack, and a magic ball attack is considered a light attack. So rather than assigning these variables that are outside a dictionary, we could just actually call the dictionary. So for example, light attacks, and we could enter in these inside of these brackets, we could enter our variable, which is the stab. It may be, maybe in a case, maybe we have less than 50% of health. So in the case of less than 50% of health, this light attack, which is the stab, is gonna cost the enemy maybe 20 set of damages. Okay, and we could do this this one line of code, and we could actually track these variables, because in real world projects you're gonna have thousands of variables, thousands lines of code, and you're gonna need to keep a track of these variables. So dictionaries are pretty useful mechanism to keep track of these. Okay, so yeah, that's it.
2 parts to it. On the left hand side is the key, and that is the equivalent of the word in the dictionary. And then it's also got an associated value. That would be the equivalent of the actual definition of the word. Now, let's say that we took this very simple table of definitions of programming words that we've come across so far, and we go ahead and we try to convert it into a dictionary. How would we do that? Let me firstly drop the last 2 rows, and let's just start with the first one. The first thing we want to do is we want to create a dictionary. And to do that in Python, this is what the syntax looks like. We have a set of curly braces, and everything that's inside the curly brace is the content of our
dictionary. Okay, so rather than memorizing dictionaries as key and value, which doesn't make any sense, we could actually employ our example and understand them in a very practical manner. So dictionaries are a way to combine a set of common set of variables that have something in common. For example, this the name of dictionary is that thing, which is light attacks, stab, and magic ball are light attacks. So they belong to the to this dictionary, which is light attacks. Okay, so whenever I am maybe developing a new functionality in my project, I could just say maybe the player has a maybe a skill, okay? And he earned the skill in a mission, and now while he has this skill activated, we are going to increase the damage of the light attack. So now we remember our dictionary, so light attacks, and this light attack is gonna be the stab, okay? And for magic, he doesn't have a skill that increases magic, so even with this skill, which is anyways, you understand what I mean, okay? So yeah, this is a very practical way to understand what dictionaries are.
Dictionary. The key goes first, followed by a colon, and then followed by the value. In our table, we've got this word bug, which is the first key, so we can replace that over here in our dictionary. And the value that's associated with this key is the definition for a bug. So an error in a program.
So actually the key, it can be a string, a boolean, an integer, a float, whatever, okay? It doesn't matter. So in this case, it is a string, but maybe it's gonna be a normal variable, okay? It's gonna be called the stab. Okay, I'm gonna be calling this variable, and it's gonna be like this. Okay, let's see if this functions or not. Let's see. So we have here an error. It says shows contents of. Okay, let's troubleshoot this error. Okay, install and import package stab. Ah, interesting. Okay, let me ask AI a question to just make sure of this information. Open a new tab, choose the light version of the model. Ask him, could you add the key in Python dictionary? Okay, little spell mistake. Who cares? Could you add the key in as maybe a variable or boolean? Boolean. Oh, come on, man. Boolean or integer, etc. Let's see if that's correct or not. Yes, you absolutely can use variables, booleans, or integers as keys in Python dictionaries. Variables hold in any immutable type. A variable name itself isn't the key. The value stored in that variable when the dictionary is created is the key. So the value must be immutable, hashable type. Integers are immutable and can definitely be used as keys. Booleans, true and false, are a subtype of integers, 1 and 0 respectively, and are immutable, so they can be used as keys. Be aware that true and 1 will be treated as the same key, and false and 0 will be treated as the same key. Okay, beautiful. So here we have a key string and an integer key, and we have a tuple key. Okay, beautiful. Tuple are common, okay. And we could use this, beautiful. So the key is the string user ID, which is Alice. Okay, beautiful. Then here we have the date for ID, it's 101, etc. Okay, so here we're gonna print dictionary variables as keys, magic, etc. Accessing, blah blah. Okay, beautiful. So let's execute this one to see what is the output of this. It's a little bit confusing though. I'm going to comment out this one and see what's happened here. Let's execute this. Okay, so our first print, dictionaries with variables as keys, and we are myDictVar, so we are printing this whole dictionary. Then here we have user ID, which is the variable that we used, which is a string, and it is Alice. And here we are using this variable, which is 101. Okay, beautiful. So it works as it's supposed to be, but you can't actually assign 101 directly in here. You can. Okay, beautiful. Okay, okay, what about this? No, you can't. So it should be a string. Text even. Okay, beautiful. Interesting. What about true? Okay, let's execute this again. Yes. Interesting. Okay, so we have learned something new with the dictionaries. Seems fun. Here we have using integer as a key directly. We could use the integer as key directly without assigning it to a variable and then calling it inside of the dictionary. Beautiful, we have tested that. The boolean we could as well, but let's ask AI, why can't we? For example, we copy this, we paste it, we copy this, and we paste it in here. Then we ask him why can we not use the user ID like this. Okay, let's see. That's an excellent question that points to a common area of confusion when starting with Python variables and dictionaries. The reason you cannot use it exactly like that is because in that line, Python interprets user ID not as a string literal but as a variable name. Interesting. And this variable has not been assigned before. Okay. Look for a variable named user ID. Python checks if you have previously defined a variable named user ID. Okay, beautiful. That's why. So you cannot assign directly. Okay. So you cannot assign directly a variable as a key in a dictionary. Okay, dictionary. Oh, who cares? He's gonna understand that, even with a typo. Okay, that's not quite right. You absolutely can assign the variable of a variable directly as a key in a dictionary. The confusion stems from the syntax used previously. This line is the problem if user ID is not defined. Okay, you can use a variable as a key, and the variable holds an immutable value, like a string, integer, or tuple. You can use the variable name in the dictionary definition in Python. Okay, yes, that's correct. By original, if you had not previously run code like user ID equals etc., Python tries to look up. So that's exactly what I have meant. So you cannot assign a new variable as a key that was not previously assigned. That is exactly correct. You cannot assign a variable name as a key in dictionary unless that variable name has already been defined somewhere else in your code. Okay, that's stupid, but that's how Python functions. So let's follow the rules. Yeah.
Program that prevents the program from running as expected. That becomes the value and can be replaced here after the colon. So now we've created an actual dictionary using Python code. What if you wanted to have more than one entry in your dictionary? Well, you would separate each of the key value pairs using a comma. And then you can continue adding key.
This is actually very similar to JSON. because if we saw a sample, okay, let's see. Give me a sample of JSON code. So dictionaries in Python are very, very similar to how JSON can be written. And JSON is very important in bug bounty. It is being used a lot in APIs, etc. So see, it's the same as dictionaries in Python. Exactly the same. Just ask them why. JSON is exactly the same as the dictionaries. Dictionaries. Oh, come on. How can you? Who cares? Who cares? So we see. Okay, here we have DE dictionaries. Okay, beautiful. Finally. Why JSON is exactly the same as dictionaries and Python. That's a great observation. JSON and Python dictionaries are not exactly the same, but they are very closely related because Python dictionaries are the native data structure used to represent and manipulate JSON data in Python. Okay, the similarity comes from the fact that JSON was heavily inspired by the object literal syntax of JavaScript, which is structurally identical to how Python defines dictionaries. Okay, interesting. How comparison highlighting the similarities and the key differences. Similarities where they look the same, both JSON objects and Python dictionaries share the same fundamental structure, key value pairs. Okay. Okay, interesting. So we have object dictionary. So this is the structure. In JSON we have the syntax, key and value enclosed with these brackets. Okay, and then we have Python dictionary syntax, which is the same, etc. The key differences, the main differences lie in the strictness of the syntax and the data types allowed for keys. For JSON, keys must always be strings enclosed in double quotes, but in Python we could use immutable type. We could use a string, an integer, and a what is this? A tuple. We could use a tuple as well. Interesting. Okay, so here we have syntax strictness. This is a very strict data interchange format. It only accepts lowercase, true, false, and null. Keys must use double quotes. Okay, it's more flexible. It uses true, false, and non-capitalized keys. Can use single quote or double quotes. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Comments. JSON does not support comments. Python dictionary, while defining them in line, comments are generally avoided, but Python code supports comments everywhere else. Okay. Oh, so we cannot add comments in dictionary, for real. I didn't know that. Okay, let's experiment with this. Let's see what we can do. Okay, this one's gonna be a string. Okay, and we're gonna define this as a string. Beautiful. Okay, we still have an error in here. Okay, we need a comma. Not in the comments, but in here. Okay, so show context actions. Plus dictionary creation. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know what's happened, but who cares? So we're gonna delete this line of code. There's no need for that. Okay. So we could actually add comments inside of dictionaries. Let me ask the AI. You could actually add comments and dictionaries in Python. Okay, let's see. You are absolutely correct to point that out, and I apologize for imprecise language in my previous response. You can include comments in Python scripts file. We are defining a dictionary literally exactly as you've shown. When the Python interpreter reads this file, it processes the comments first and discards them before creating the actual dictionary object in memory. The resulting dictionary object in memory is okay. This dictionary object itself does not store the comments. The crucial distinction, the confusion arises because of the comparison with JSON. Python encode allows comments during the definition writing phase. And for JSON does not allow comments at all in standard specification. If you try to load a file containing comments using a standard JSON parser like Python's JSON.loads, it will fail with a parsing error. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's continue.
And value pairs until you get to the end of your dictionary. All right, let's take a look at dictionaries in action. If you head over to the day 9 start code file, then you can see that in here I've already added the dictionary that we were defining earlier on, and I've stored it inside a variable called programming dictionary. Now currently I've only got 2 entries in this dictionary, the definition for bug and the definition for function. Now the first thing I want to highlight is when you create a dictionary that has more than one element, such as in this case, then you want to take care to format it properly so that it's more easily readable. So what you'll see Python programmers do by convention is they will start off the dictionary with the open curly brace at the top, and then every subsequent entry is indented by one indent. And then at the very end of that entry there's a comma, and then we hit enter so that the next item goes on to the next line, and finally the last curly brace should go at the very beginning in line with the start of.
Okay, so this is more readable rather than a strict line. Yes, that's true.
The dictionary. And another thing that's quite nice to do is to cap off all entries in your dictionary or list with a comma. This means that if you needed to add more items into the dictionary, you can simply just hit enter and continue typing the next thing. And if we wanted to add another entry, it's as simple as adding in the key, a colon, and then the value. And to cap it off, again,
Okay, that's true.
with a comma. So now our dictionary represents exactly the same data as we saw in our table over here, with a bunch of key value pairs and a total of 3 entries. Now, the next thing I want to do is, what if I wanted to retrieve an item from the dictionary? Because we know that if we had a list, what we would do is we would use a set of square brackets, and then we would give the index of the item that we wanted. So the item at index 0 or 1 or 2.
Okay, so this is interesting. We already have done that. Actually, if I want to specify a key, the AI is gonna do it for us. So actually, rather than taking the index in a list, for example, if this was a list, knight attacks, then we specify the index maybe 0 or 1 or yes, -1, etc. You could use actually just the key, okay? You could use the key, and this is gonna be action like the index in a list, which is pretty neat.
And so on and so forth. Now, for dictionaries, it's kind of similar in terms of syntax, but the only difference is that dictionaries have elements which are identified by their key. If we wanted this piece of information, for example, then all we have to do is tap into the dictionary and then add a set of square brackets, and inside the square brackets we're going to provide the key. So here the key is a string, and it's the string bug. So let's go ahead and put bug in here. And now if I go ahead and print this, then you can see that is going to give me the value, which is an error in a program that prevents the program from running as expected. Now, it's really
Okay. So here, we are actually not printing, we're actually printing the value. So let's see. Here, okay, beautiful. So by this, the syntax gives us, returns to us, this. So we are specifying this key, and this line of code returns to us this value, which is 5. Okay, and to prove that, I could use a function. I could define my function. There's a column in here. I could indent this real quick. Okay, beautiful. And I could specify to return this value. Okay, yes, exactly. But I have a small syntax error. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and call this function and print it. So I'm going to pass the values of the function, which is gonna be the value returns of this line of code, which is eventually is gonna be this integer, which is 5. And there we go, 5. Beautiful. So yeah, that's it. It acts like indexes in list. Okay.
important that you make sure that when you're fetching something out of a dictionary by its key, that you actually spell the key correctly. A really common error is when you're trying to retrieve something out of a dictionary and you've just made a very simple typo. So
Yes, typos are dangerous, and they could actually make a bug into your code.
instead of U, I'm typing O here, and you'll see we get an error. And the error tells us that it's a key error referring to this particular key, and it highlights this line 7, where we're trying to retrieve something out of this dictionary by this key. Basically, it's telling you that this key doesn't actually exist and it can't be found, so it doesn't know what it is that you want. Remember how when we had lists and when we tried to retrieve something that was not inside the list, so for example, this particular list at index 4 doesn't actually exist because this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is actually not a piece of data inside this list. Similarly with dictionaries, if we try to put in a key that doesn't exist, then we get this key error. Now, another common pitfall that students fall down into is they don't actually use the correct data type. So, for example, if when we defined this
Yes. So the data type of this key is a string, which is immutable type.
dictionary without putting a string around each of these keys,
So this is the error that we have read just previously.
then it's gonna error out.
So this is not a desktop error. Python, he just tries to look for a predefinition of this variable, and if he didn't find it, then we're gonna have an error. Okay, so if we have predefined these variables, then we could actually use them inside of the dictionary. So yeah.
And it won't even let us run. It's going to tell us undefined name bug because it thinks that
Yes, so the bug thinks it's a variable that has been defined. Okay.
this is a variable that you've declared somewhere, but it's not. In fact, what you wanted are these strings for keys. And so when you have a key that is a string, when you're trying to retrieve the data from that key, you also have to make sure that you provide the key in its actual data type. So for example, if this was just a number, say 1, 2, 3, then of course all you have to write in here is just 1, 2, 3. and it would know that this piece of data is what you wanted.
That's true.
So that's how you retrieve items from a dictionary, by adding a square bracket and then giving it the key. And it will look for the key inside the dictionary and give you back the value. Now, what if you wanted to add a piece of data, such as that loop that we had earlier on, but you want to do it programmatically? So instead of doing it when you were defining the dictionary at the beginning, what if at some later stage in your program you needed to add a new entry? Well, to do this, it's also really simple. All you have to do is to tap into the dictionary, which is called Programming Dictionary in our case, and again, using square brackets.
Okay, so this is very basic. We could assign a new value to that key. Okay, very basic, very basic. That's all very basic stuff.
Just as you saw previously, you create an empty list by simply having a set of square brackets with nothing.
And we could actually create an empty dictionary with
Inside.
using
You can also create an empty dictionary by simply creating a set of curly braces with
so yeah, curly braces. That's exactly it.
nothing inside. And then at a later stage, you can add to your dictionary by using this method that you saw here. Now, on the other hand, you might actually want to wipe an entire
Yeah, so we could add keys using this method to an empty dictionary. True. That's true.
dictionary. Here, I'm creating.
And maybe we could do the same as well with a list. We use empty list, and it's gonna be an empty list. And please, AI, don't do all of this by yourself. Okay, so here we have an empty list, and we are going to add a value into it. And so we're gonna need to specify an index. So empty yes list. So rather than using append, we could actually use these brackets, specify the index, which is 0, true, and then we're gonna add maybe a string. It's called hold on a second. What's happening? What's happening to my keyboards? Please. Okay, finally. It's gonna be the first item. That's true. The second item. And I'm wanting to print these. Oh yes, print empty lists. Yes. Oh my god, this AI is so much smart. He knows the basic stuff. Okay. Assignment X out of range. Okay. Okay, so that's why we use append. So you cannot actually use the same that. That's why we use append for this. Interesting. So if we're in the same area, yes. Okay. So we cannot do this with lists. We should use this function, which is append. Otherwise, it's not gonna function. Okay. Interesting. Let's ask AI why this is not possible. Just to know. Why can we not add a value to a list using this method? Okay, so that's an interesting question that highlights the fundamental differences between how to append, how the append function method and direct index assignment work on Python lists. You can use both methods, but they achieve different goals. Empty list.appends the first item. This method works perfectly. Purpose to add an element to the end of an existing list. The result, the list grows in size by one element. Okay, beautiful. So using this this method will fail if the list is empty or does not yet have an element at index number 1. Purpose to change the value. Okay. So let's see if this fails for an empty dictionary. Okay, so empty dictionary, beautiful. And then we're gonna use this empty dictionary. Then we're gonna use curly brackets. Then we're gonna specify a key and value. Okay, so rather than using this, we're gonna just use the key is equals a value, true. So this is an empty dictionary. Okay, so we're gonna print the empty dictionary, true. Let's delete this and see if there's an error. Yes, true. Syntax error, invalid syntax. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. And it's the same thing for dictionaries. Okay, we have this dictionaries, okay, with A, beautiful. Let's check that out. That's another great question. This is syntax differences between lists and dictionaries. For dictionaries, the syntax you are using is almost correct, but it's missing the square brackets. Oh, okay, I forgot. Oh my god, what a stupid. That's stupid. Oh, that's very stupid. I just forgot that. Okay, so this is a key, and this should function without any problem. Yes, true. So yeah. So could we use an append function to this? Dot append. Let's see if that's good function for a dictionary. See this? Value. So we're gonna append a key and a value, true. Then we're gonna print this. Oh, we have an error. Dictionary object has an attribute append. Oh, okay, so there is no function. This function is not compatible with dictionaries. Okay, let me see. Ask AI why this does not function. Okay. Function. Is there another compatible function for dictionaries? Dictionaries, true. Let's see. That's a perfect follow-up question that highlights the fundamental difference between lists and dictionaries in Python. The reason for this syntax does not work is that dictionaries do not have an append method. Dot append is for lists. Okay, dictionaries is index assignment. Okay. Otherwise, there is no. Okay, beautiful to know. Okay, so we have learned a lot about dictionaries and lists.
A new empty dictionary by creating this pair of curly braces with nothing inside. But I can also wipe an existing dictionary by simply doing the same thing. We know that this dictionary, programming dictionary, has 3 items in it, But on line 17, I'm going to say programming dictionary equals empty dictionary. And now if I move this print statement down here, then you can see that when it prints out, it's actually going to be completely empty. That can be really useful if you wanted to clear out a user's progress, or for example, if a game restarts, then all the scores and stats will probably have to be wiped empty. So this is one way that you could do.
Okay, that's interesting. So empty the stats, its scores, values. We could empty the dictionary by assigning it a new. Okay.
Now, this method of tapping into a dictionary, using the key to fetch the relevant item from it, and then doing something with it, goes beyond just adding. You can also use this to edit an item in a dictionary. For example, let me go ahead and comment out these 2 lines of code so we don't wipe our programming dictionary. And instead, I'm going to tap into the programming dictionary and I'm going to fetch the item that has a key of bug. And I'm going to redefine its value. So currently it should be an error.
Yeah, that's basic. So we could edit an item in a dictionary. That's true. Okay. So we have edited its value. True. That's true. Okay. I have a question. Could we actually maybe edit? For example, we take this light attacks. Maybe I want to change, so light attacks, magic ball. I'm willing to change not the value of this key. I want to change the key. So rather than magic ball, it's gonna magic spare. Let's see what's gonna happen. Yes, so we're gonna print it out and see. Okay, so we cannot do this. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. Ask AI how could we rename or edit a key inside using this method. How to edit the key and see what's gonna happen. You are very close to edit the value associated with an existing key. Okay, so we could use this. Less than 50% of how this line will cause an error if magic spare doesn't exist. That's true. Okay. Example, set in magic ball damage based on stab damage. Okay. So editing, changing the value associated with the existing key magic ball. We set it to be half of the stab damage. Okay. Let's change stab to see updates. So here we are just changing the values. Okay. And the new key. Okay, so actually you cannot edit a key using this. If you want to edit the key, you could actually get back to where you have defined the dictionary and change it manually. Otherwise, you are going to just change the values of an existing key in the dictionary. For example, if we use the stab, which is gonna be 10, this integer, which is an existing key in the dictionary, and maybe we divide it by number 2, right? Yes, that's true. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. So the dictionaries do not take floats, right? No, they do take it. Interesting. So we could have floats as a value. Beautiful. and we could use this division syntax to actually have a clean division without any float. Beautiful. That functions like butter. Okay.
What do you expect to be printed? So let's comment out all the other print statements so we don't get confused. And when I click run, what do you think will be printed?
Okay, let's see. Before she clicks run, we have this dictionary, and then we have an empty dictionary, and then we have program dictionary. We are using this. Then we are assigning this for think and printing. Okay. So for think, okay. So for key. Okay, so we are going so using this method, this for loop. So for key and light attacks, we are going to print the key. So in this case, we are just going to print the key, right? Let's check that out. Key, that's it. So let's see what's gonna happen. Yes, true. Yes, so in this case, we are going to print only the key. Otherwise, we could take the value when we specify this comma, and then we could print the key, and we could print the value. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I shouldn't have used the plus sign. I should have used the comma. Okay, key value and let's text. Too many values to unpack. Okay. Maybe if we used enumerate, maybe will that function? Light attacks dot items. Okay, yes, that functions. So we do see what's gonna print it in here. We have 0, step 10, etc. Okay, I don't want dot items. I just want a normal enumeration. Yes. Okay. What if I didn't use enumerate and I use dot items? Okay, let's see this. Okay, so here we are grabbing the key and the value at the same time. So stab is equal to 10, magic ball, and 5. So that's functioning with this function. So we need to add this function in order to extract the value with the key and print them out. Okay, beautiful.
All right, is that what you expected? Because it certainly wasn't what I expected when I first learned Python. I thought it would give me each of the items.
Yes, I have expected this. It's pretty normal.
In the dictionary with its key and its value. But instead, this code actually just gives you the keys. Now, of course, once you do have access to the key, instead of thing, I should actually really say for key in Programming Dictionary, if I wanted to print the key, then of course I could just write print key. But if I wanted to get hold of the value, I could equally just as easily tap into my dictionary, use the square bracket, and pass in that key. So now when I hit run, you can see it's giving me first the key from this line, and then secondly, the value based on this line. I'm using that retrieval code.
Yes, we could use the index method to actually get the value of this key, which is the string mouth in your computer,
in order to get the value. Of course, remember that you can get access to all the code that I'm writing here, and if you want to, have a quick review of everything that we've gone through so far, because a lot of this knowledge is going to be tested in the next lesson, where we do a coding exercise that will really solidify everything you've learned in this lesson so far. So for all of that and more, I'll see you on the next lesson.
Okay, interesting. Let's see. Okay, so I have passed this test. We have a grading program. Interesting. We have the student scores in this dictionary. Okay. You have access to a database of student scores in the format of a dictionary. The keys in student scores are the names of students, and the values are their exam scores. It's a program that converts their scores to grades. Okay, interesting. By the end of your program, you should have a new dictionary called Student Grades that should contain student names as keys and their assessed grades for values. So the scores from 191, it's gonna be 1 in 90, it's gonna be outstanding. From 80 in 1 to 90 is gonna be exceeds expectations, etc., etc. So we could use actually an empty dictionary, which is students' grades. We could use this for loop to iterate through the student scores, and we could catch these cases using the if statements. Rather than using if, we could use the elif statement, which is perfectly fine in this case. Okay, so if okay, we could use here an else statement, else, and delete all of this in here, because we have catched all the cases that we need to troubleshoot. Okay, yes, that's true. Let me just make a little bit of space in this line. Yeah, okay, beautiful. Okay, so this should function. So between these two cases, so we are retrieving from this dictionary the key, because the key, it could be Harry, Ron, Hermione. So we are going to iterate over Harry, Ron, etc. And once we iterate over Harry, this is gonna return to us 80/80. And if 80/80 is between 91 or 100, it's gonna be we're going to assign to Harry this string in this new dictionary. It's gonna be outstanding in this case, etc. Okay, so we could run the code, and it is completed. So let me just run this code by myself, and my notations in here. I could comment out all of this, and I could just go here, paste this, and I could print the student grades. Yes, exactly. So let's see. So for Harry, which is 88, it's gonna be over here, which is exceeds expectations, Ron, etc. For Neville, which is this guy, he's gonna fail because he has below 71. Okay, this is very easy. We could just delete this real quick. Very easy algorithm. Just takes a little bit of thinking, but I have did it beforehand, so easy one.
Now that we've seen lists as well as dictionaries, I want to talk about a concept that you often see in both of these collection types, and that's something called nesting. Now, if we imagine a list or a dictionary being something like a folder where lots of things can be stored inside it,
Okay, here we have actually a resolution problem for some reason.
then nesting lists and dictionaries is just a matter of putting one inside the other. For example, here's a dictionary that is very simple. It's only got one key value pair. Now, we know that we can add multiple key value pairs into the same dictionary by just adding a bunch of commas to separate them. Now, what if instead of having a simple value like a string or a number, I could also put a list as a value as well? Similarly, I could also use a dictionary as a value.
So here we could have integrated dictionary, so a dictionary instead of dictionary, which is interesting if you have big sets of data that needs like a folder, and maybe so we're gonna use the terminal. Okay, hold on a second. So maybe we're gonna go to the so maybe we're gonna go to the root partition, and our root partition we are having system files, and inside of the system files, which maybe is home, we have the user files, which is the name of my user. And if I went to the name of my user, I have user files, which is desktop downloads, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so this is how Python uses the same concept. So example, I'm gonna call this dictionary root. Okay, hold on a second. Root partition. It's gonna be equivalent to an. Hold on. Okay, it's gonna be equivalent to a dictionary, and we are going to add a value. It's gonna be called home, which is the next directory and root partition for us. And in home we are going to have another dictionary, which is gonna be another key, which is it's gonna be the name of the user, which is Mr. Robots. Okay, Mr. Robots. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna add a column, another string. So rather than another string, we're gonna add curly bracelets, which are another dictionary. And in this dictionary, we are going to have hold on a second. Come on, what's happening? Okay, we're gonna add, come on, this keyboard, so I'm like typing in the dark and I can't really see what's in the keyboard. What's alright. We're gonna add desktop in here, desktop, true. And we're gonna need a column, and we're gonna need another dictionary, so we're gonna use these curly bracelets. Then we're gonna need to use in desktop, we may have Brave, which is this browser that we use. So beautiful, it's gonna be called Brave. And we're gonna need a column, and inside of this Brave we are having Udemy, okay, an open tab, etc. Just a little example. So this is the root partition that we are having, and we could actually print this root partition and see how this looks like. So yeah, so we have home. Inside of home we have Mr. Robot, and which is the user, and one of the user files is the desktop, and the desktop, there is a shortcut for this program, which is Brave, and this program maybe has an open tab, which is Udemy, okay. So we could actually specify this with these brackets. So maybe in root partition we're gonna use home, and inside of this dictionary, which is home, we are going to specify this key, which is another dictionary, okay, which is another dictionary in here, like this. And inside this value, it's gonna be another dictionary, which is Brave. Inside Brave, which is a string. So it doesn't, so this is its value, just a string. So after we execute this command, we are going to have the string, which is Udemy, outputted, and beautiful. There she is, our string. So this is an example, beautiful. So let's get rid of this console. Beautiful.
In this case, we've got a list as the value for key, this first one, and we've got a dictionary as the value for key 2. Notice how this is a list and a dictionary nested inside another dictionary. The structure gets a little bit more complex, but it gives us more flexibility when we're trying to store more complex pieces of data. Coming back to our code, let's go ahead and create some sample dictionaries to see what this actually looks like in real life. For example, this could be a dictionary that contains the country as the key and the city.
Then we have France, and in France we have Paris. Okay, that's an interesting dictionary. Let me just craft it real quick. So we're gonna comment out this. Then we could have maybe continents, which is continents, yes. Okay, continents. Is that how you type it? Let me just test that out. Yeah, continents, map, continent. Yes, true. So don't have a typo. Beautiful. So for continents, we are gonna have an empty dictionary. And yes, we are going to have America. And in America, we're gonna have an empty dictionary. I'm not gonna open this right now. We're gonna have Austria, we're gonna have Brazil, we're gonna have Canada. Okay, China is not a freaking continent. Canada as well. Brazil's like South America. South America, true. Okay, let me just add an underscore. Beautiful. Canada is not a freaking continent. We're gonna have, for example, Africa. And we're gonna have Asia. Okay. Then we're gonna have Europe as well. Beautiful. And in America, we are having country. Okay, beautiful. We're gonna have this key. And the value of this key is gonna be another dictionary. Hold on a second, it's beautiful. So the dictionary is gonna have America. Yes. So America, we're gonna have United States. And in these United States, we're gonna have another dictionary. It's gonna be called the States. Yes, States. Okay, so we're gonna have a colon, etc. So let me just ask AI to complete these dictionaries for me, because it's hard work. So please make some data inside of these dictionaries. Beautiful. Let's see if that's gonna happen. Okay, beautiful. Look at how much data we have. Imagine typing all of this by myself. I can't. That's gonna take at least half an hour. Can't do that. Okay, beautiful. So here we have America, and then we have a dictionary of countries. Okay, in America, but we have captured only the United States. Sorry, other countries in America. And then we have the states: California, Texas, New York, Florida, etc., which is a list. Okay, beautiful. maybe etc etc. So in Asia we have China, and then we have provinces, which is Guangdong, Shandong, and capital is Beijing. Then we have India, then we have the states of India, which are Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh. The capital is New Delhi. In Europe, we have Germany. Okay, respect. Let me just add this up. Yeah, so respect. Then we have the states of Germany, which is Bavaria, North Rhine-Westphalia. Okay, interesting. Then we have the capitals like Berlin. So this is the only capital in Germany. Then we have the regions in France, Île-de-France, Auvergne, Rhône-Alpes. What the fuck is that? Then we have Paris. Interesting. Africa, we have Nigeria. The states are Lagos, Kano. Capital is Abuja. Egypt, we have governorates. Cairo, Giza. The capital is Cairo. Interesting. In Argentina, we have Buenos Aires as capital, as province. Then we have Brazil, we have Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and then the capital is Brasilia. In Australia, we are having the capital Canberra. Okay, in Canada, we have Ottawa. And the capital of the United States is Washington, D.C. Okay, interesting. So let me, for example, print one of the continents, and maybe I want to print, for example, America. And America, I want to print maybe the country. And the country is gonna be, okay, hold on a second. Yes, it's gonna be the capital. And here we are gonna see Washington, D.C. Okay, we have made a typo, key error. So we're gonna go and see. All above we have country, America as a continent. Then we have the country, and then we have US, and then the capital. So country, it's gonna be US, and then the capital. Yes, exactly. Let's see. So we are having a typo in here. Here, country. I don't see an error in it, isn't it? Oh, it was the capital C. That's why. Stupid. That's stupid. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we have here Washington, D.C. Beautiful. That was a nice example. Prompted from the AI. It was real helpful.
That is the capital as the value. So for France, that's Paris. For Germany, that's Berlin. This is a very simple dictionary that you've
Berlin.
seen already. Now, if I wanted to nest a list in a dictionary, then I would be able to represent even more complex data. For example, if I had a travel log where I was going to collect a dictionary of all the cities I had been for each of the countries I've traveled to. So, for example, if I have traveled to France and I wanted to say that I've been to multiple cities, I can't simply just say Paris and then Lille, Dijon. That doesn't really work because each key can only have one value. The only way that we can make these three pieces of data one value is by
using a list, okay?
turning it into a list, like so. So now in our travel log dictionary, as represented by the curly braces. We have one key value pair, and it just so happens that the value in this case is a list. And of course, you can go on and add as many entries as you would like, and still preserving this kind of structure of key being a string and the value being a list. Now, I've got a challenge for you to test your understanding
I have a challenge. Yay.
of how lists nested inside dictionaries might work. I want you to guess and figure out how can you print out the Lille string from this travel log.
Okay, this is very easy. This is one of the easiest challenges out there in the wild. So we are going to comment out all of this because I'm not going to use it. And then we're going to need a lot of new lines. Okay, beautiful. So, we are at day 2, so I'm not going to use this tab. Okay, this tab seems to be empty. Interesting. So should I type out that by myself? I don't want to, but anyways, travel log is equivalent to this empty dictionary. Is gonna be come on. It's gonna be France. And so we're gonna have a column, it's gonna be a list. Then we're gonna have France. We're gonna have France. So we're gonna have here Paris. Then we're gonna have Lille. Then we're gonna have Lyon. Okay. That's enough, or yeah, that's enough for our case. So we are going to print travelog. Then I'm going to use these brackets. I'm going to specify France. I'm going to use another brackets, and then I'm going to use an index. It's going to be 1, for example, 1 for this, which is Lille. I'm going to see what has been printed. Okay, so let's execute the codes and then we have Lille. That's very easy.
So think about how you might access items in a dictionary, and then think about how you access items in a list, and the goal is just to print out this Lille. Pause the video, give this a go. Okay, so let's first start with accessing this list. So if we go ahead and use our print statement to tap into the travel log, we know that we can access the value of a dictionary by using the key. So we use these square brackets and then we have to type the key, which in this case is France.
Which is France, yeah.
So if we print this right now, we're getting hold of the list, and we know how to.
So this one gives us return of the whole list, and to specify an index of the list we're going to need another bracket to specify the index. As simple as that. So yeah, if you understand the logic, you understand the syntax. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
How to work with lists already. So if we want the item at index 0, 1, then we just need another set of square brackets and add 1 in there. So now if we run this, you can see we're able to get hold of this item. Now we've previously seen that you can nest lists inside other lists, and you can end up with a many layered nested list. So for example, if I had a list that had the letters A and B, I can nest a list inside there.
Inside the list, yeah, that's true. You could do that. Yeah.
At the index 2, so 0, 1, 2, the third item in this list is another list, and
So for example, you're going to type here nested list, And then we are going to specify maybe number 2 for this nested list. And inside of this nested list, we're going to have another square brackets. And if we want to output the next, the first value, which is this one, this string, it's going to be 0. So something. We're going to use almost the same syntax. Okay.
I'm going to add C and D. So now we have what.
Yeah, that's true. So if we replaced here from travel log to nested list and replaced France with number 2 and replaced this number, or just left it as number 1, then we're gonna have G outputted in this print statement. Okay.
What's called a 2D list. We have a list and then we have a list inside that list. So here's another challenge for you. See if you can figure out how to print out this letter D from the nested list. Think about what we did before and think about what you've learned previously about nested list to complete this challenge. Pause the video now. Okay, so let's first access this list. So if we go ahead and print our nested list and then we put in the index
This is very basic. Just skip it.
list, well, we would tap into the item at.
This is very basic, dog. Very basic. We want something more hard. Okay. So let's skip. Okay, let's see what's in here.
That we've got it as a string, and then for the value.
So here we have a nested dictionary, sorry. Then we have this key, which is number of times visited.
Value, we could have a number. So let's say I've been to France 8 times.
Oh my god, she has that red passport. Oh my god, she flexes.
Then
She flexes to someone who been to France 0 times. Right?
that would be the first key value pair in our France entry. And then we've also got another key called cities visited. And now what we can do is we can save the list into the value for that key. So now
Okay, that's interesting. Makes sense.
we've got a list nested inside a dictionary, which is nested inside another dictionary.
So this is all just data, okay, in Python, how it is written. We could use pandas to actually structure this data into a GUI. We could actually import the panda module, play with it. But that's not necessary for the moment. Until we, go into data science, then we're gonna use a lot of those modules and libraries. So yeah, stay tuned.
And if I was to complete my travel log, then it might look something like this. And you can see that our data is more complex. We've got more key value pairs associated, and we've essentially got a much better way of organizing the data for our travel log. So now comes the question of how would you access some of the items from this more complex travel log? Can you figure out how to print out Stuttgart from this travel log?
Okay, that's very easy. First of all, I'm not gonna type all of this data. That's gonna take a little while. So I'm gonna use AI for that. Okay. Extract the Python codes from screenshots without modifications, and we're gonna have this codes and 1 second, which is crazy fast. I love it. we're gonna go to our code editor, and then we could just replace this with this, and then we could just so what was the challenge again? I just forgot. What was it?
How to print out Stuttgart.
Okay, Stuttgart. Okay, so we are going to print Stuttgart, which is a city in Germany. She seems to be German rather than an English teacher. So yeah, that's why she has that red passport and could visit France 12 times. Oh, she visited Germany only 5 times. So she is actually from London, not from Germany. That's why. So she is from London. Okay, interesting. So we are going to print the travel log. I'm not going to print all of it. We are going to print Germany, city visited, and then I'm going to specify that with the value number 2, and that should do it. Stuttgart, easy. But this is not smart enough, if you asked me, because in big data sets, we're gonna need to use algorithm to actually find maybe Stuttgart by maybe the first letter or the second 2 letters, and we're gonna let a function actually iterate the dictionary, and when she finds a match, she's gonna output something similar to this in a big data set. Okay, then we could actually locate this value, which is Stuttgart. Okay, but in a small dictionary, we could actually do it by ourselves. So yeah,
Stuttgart from this travel log. Figure out how you might access this dictionary, and then how you might access this list, and then how you might access this item in the list so that you can print it out. Pause the video now. Alright, so let's go step by step. The first step going inside this dictionary is we have a key and we have a value. So let's try and pick.
okay, let's just skip this whole video because it seems to be digested enough. And then we're gonna have a quiz in here. Let's retry the quiz. Start it. Let's see which line of code will change the starting dictionary to be final dictionary. So we have A and B, we have A and B and C. So we're gonna append this key with this value. We're not gonna use the append. We're not gonna use this. We're gonna use this. No, we're gonna use this. Yes. Exactly. That's true. Here we have starting dictionary. No, this is false. Oh my god. Is this wrong? Really? Is this wrong? What? It should be this one. For real. Ah, yes, because the starting dictionary don't have this key. So this one is wrong. Oh my god, that's so much embarrassing. This is for real, so much embarrassing. I'm crying right now. Okay, which line of code will produce an error? Let's see. So we are taking this key from this dictionary and assigning it to a list. Okay, this is correct. For key and dictionary, which is A, B, and C, we are going to take the value and we're going to append it with 1. Okay, because all of them are integers, it's going to go in function as well. This one is wrong. And and we're gonna print. So we don't have any key that has number 1. Interesting. So this one is the mistake. Okay. The snipe code will add a new key. Okay. Oh my god, am I stupid? So this one is the mistake because we don't have this key in here. Okay, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Okay, let's go next. I'm stupid. That's no problem. You know, we make mistakes. Which line of code will print steak? Order. So we're gonna need to check the order. We're gonna need the main, and then we're gonna need, hold on a second. We are having here 2 keys, 1 and 2. So yes, 2, which is here. This is gonna give us, okay, this is not enough. Here we have this, that's wrong, main, 2, correct, in 0. So this one's gonna give us steak. Order, main. So this one is wrong because we didn't add the double quotes. Okay, your main one, so this one is wrong. So this one is the correct. Easy. Easy, we have failed, I know. Not a problem. Okay, let's go and start with the project.
So now that you've learned all about dictionaries, we're going to put all of that knowledge to test and to use by building a blind auction program.
Let's build it.
So here's the program. When you first run it, it's just going to show you the logo art and maybe a line that tells you what program you're in. And then it's going to ask you for your name. So let's say we have 3 bidders, right? So first go, I go to the computer, I type in my name, I type in my bid, and I hit enter. It asks me if there are any other bidders. I look around the
And then I'm going to say yes or no.
room.
Okay.
I see 2 other colleagues. So I type yes. And now it clears the entire screen so that other people can't.
Okay, I'm just going to go and start the very first attempt. This is going to be a while loop because we're going to ask the user, do you want to repeat or not? So while true. Okay, we're going to need a column in here. Sorry. Beautiful. We're going to need a value, a variable called repeat. And this repeat is going to be, do you wish to continue, yes or no? And we're going to make this if repeat is yes, is no actually, is n, what is n? Okay, beautiful. Then we are going to break. That's simple. And we're going to need a lot of lines in this while loop. And here we could actually make our code alive. So the first thing, ask the user for input. Okay, so we're going to go to the demo. We're going to click run. And then I'm going to ask him about what's your name. But before that, I'm just going to go and take this art over here. And I'm going to print this art at the very beginning. So print. And I'm going to need a string. I'm going to print this art. Okay, I'm going to need more than a string. Yes, exactly. 3 of them. Delete that. I'm going to need 3 of them as well. Okay, beautiful. So like that, we have printed the hammer, the auction, the silence auction. Okay, so we're going to ask about the inputs. We're going to ask about them in here, in the while loop. Okay, so we're going to ask about the name. And yes, that's exactly it. We'll need a column in here. And this signal, which is exclamatory, I don't know. So we're going to ask about the name. It's going to be me. Let's ask Mr. Okay, what's your bid? So we're gonna need another variable called what's your bid. We go here, add the variable. It's gonna be called bid. And we're gonna need an input. Then what's your bid exactly? And we're gonna need the dollar sign. Okay, this is the dollar sign. Beautiful. Okay, my bid is gonna be $100. I'm just gonna go and fix that right away. Okay, that's beautiful. So it is $100. Are there any other bidders? Yes or no? Okay, so we're gonna call another function, another variable called other bidders. How many other bidders do you have? Nah, not that one. Actually, I'm just gonna go and take this one and I'm gonna replace it with the right one. So rather than yes or no, I'm just gonna use this Y or N. Okay. Is that okay? Yeah. So I'm just gonna need this. Yeah. This one as well. Okay. It's perfect. Okay, so maybe we need a new line in here. Hold on a second. We need a new line to say yes or no. Give them this opportunity. Okay, so I'm gonna say no, and it gives us the winner. So it compares the name number 1, name number 2, etc. Okay, so if other bidders is yes, then we are going to input about name in bid number 2. Okay, paste that and copy this one and paste it as well, and we are going to ask him again, and if it was yes, then we are going to do the same. Oh my god, this is not optimal, but it's gonna be like this. And if it was no, which is else, in this case, then we are going to do something else, which is it's gonna be other thing. Okay, then if it was else, then we are going to continue. Okay. We are going to continue our script. Beautiful. If it was else in this case, we are going to continue our script. Okay. Then we could continue the while loop. Otherwise, I'm just gonna ask the AI to give me from here, I guess. Yeah, from here. So let's ask AI, let's go to Brave. Let's go to AI and ask him, is there an optimal way to repeat, to add better without repeating the code? Let's see if there is a way. So the current code structure uses nested if statements and repeats the input gathering, which is not optimal. I know. An optimal way to handle an arbitrary number of bidders is to use a while loop. Okay. I know, that was stupid. So we're gonna need to use a nested while loop. So while other bidders $$ is equivalent to Y, Then we're gonna ask about the name, and then we're gonna append it to a list, to a dictionary. Hold on a second, yes. Okay, interesting. So we're just gonna go and do that right away. So we have the name in the bit. Okay, interesting. This is interesting. This is way better than using this one. So I'm not gonna use it. So I'm gonna use another while loop. So okay, so I'm gonna use while true. I'm gonna use the same technique. Let's take all of these boys and make them intended in this new while loop, and say if other bidders. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. So while the number of other bidders is equivalent to no, which is to n, we are going to break this while loop, and then we're gonna go and continue with this other while loop. Okay, so we are going to input about the name, the bid, and then we are going to ask him about the other bidders. So we have something that we should add in this, and then it's gonna be bidder log, and yeah. Interesting. This is interesting. Okay. Bidder log is gonna be an empty dictionary. Okay. And it's gonna be over here as the first thing in this while loop. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So if we have this name in bid, we are going to append them. So bidder log name equals that bid. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean it. That's exactly the thing. Hold on a second. In this case, we are going to have the key, which is the name, in the bid, which is not what I need to do, right? So no. So we're gonna ask here the name, and then the key is gonna be string, which is the name. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna need bidder logs, bids exactly. Here we are having the name. Here we are having the bid exactly. So if the answer was yes or anything else, so I'm just gonna use dot lower. Beautiful. And here dot lower. Beautiful. Okay, interesting. So okay, so because of this, I'm gonna have a dictionary with two keys, name and bid. So after all of this, and we have broken from this while loop, we could make a comparison. Who won? So I'm gonna go and iterate for key and value in bidders. Okay, bidders log dot item. So I'm gonna have the key and the value, which is I'm gonna grab the name and the value at the same time. So with this, I'm gonna check if the value is okay. How to grab the maximum value? Okay, so I'm gonna need an empty max value. It's gonna be an empty, it's gonna be 0. Okay, so if value is bigger, okay, if value is bigger than the max value, okay, then we are going to assign the max value this value, okay, and for that reason we are going to take our beta log, yes, exactly. Then we are going to take this key, which is the name, and then we are going to assign to this name. Interesting. Think. So right now we have a max value because of this for loop, and then we are catching this max value. Okay, so right now we have a max value in here because of this for loop. Beautiful. Okay, so I have that value. Okay, let me think. Let me ask AI about this. I have a max value. Okay, hold on, because I have extracted the name as well. Okay, so I have the key, which is the name. Interesting. So I do possess that name. That is the winner name. Okay, interesting. So I'm gonna need maybe another if loop, if statements. If value. No. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna need another for loop, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So after this for loop is done, we are gonna have a max value by this for loop. Okay, please delete this one. So if max value, if the value is equivalent to the max value, then we are going to take that key, which is the name, and store it. It's gonna be the winner name, okay, and it's gonna be an empty string. So if you found that max value, we are gonna take that key and add it to the winner. So it's gonna be winner name is, yeah, so we're gonna assign this empty string to the key, okay, and this is the winner. So after we have been done from this and done from this while loop, okay, interesting, this while loop, we bring the data with it. We are farming data with this while loop. After we have farmed the data, we are going to process the data with this algorithm, and because all the farmed data is going to be stored in this dictionary, we are going to use this dictionary for the process. And then if we have got the winner name, we are gonna go and print are going to go and print the winner name, and we are going to print the max value, winner name, and max value as well. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna delete all of these lines. So this code should work, and because of the help of the AI, he just gave me this idea to store the data. Use here a list and use the append method to append a dictionary inside of this list, which is not ideal. Like, you could actually just use a dictionary right away and append it through the index method that we have learned, and that's pretty enough. So we are going to execute this code, and we have an error. Oh, blah blah blah. Invalid escape. Okay. Yes, this one is being interpreted as an escape. Weird. Not a problem. Still. Okay, we're going to ignore this error. Okay, no problem. So I'm gonna call myself Mr. Robot. The bid is gonna be $100. Yes, there are other bidders. Other bidder is gonna be Josh, maybe, and his bid is gonna be $1,000. There is no more bidders. Okay, and we have an error. And we have freaking error. Okay, where? Value. Okay, type error. Not supported between instance, string, and integer. Hold on a second. Is value a string? For real? What? Why is this a string? Okay, let me test this using Thonny. Somehow value is a string. What? I don't get it. Okay, so we don't need this print. Okay, we're going to debug. We're going to step out, go and put our name. So this is the first thing. While true, our name is gonna be Mr. Robot. The bid is gonna be $1,100. There's another bidder called Josh. It's gonna be $1,000. No. Okay, we didn't debug anything. Come on, man. I'm gonna stop this and step into. So the name is Mr. Robot. Okay, beautiful. Next step. The bid is gonna be $50. Okay, next step. And yes, there's another bidder. It's gonna be. It's gonna be Josh. Okay, enter. Next step. Then we're gonna need $100. Okay, enter. Okay, there is no other bidders, so it's no. Okay, beautiful. So here we have breaked from this one loop. So it's an N, yes, that's true. And then we break. So here we're gonna compare this. So we are using the max value of the dictionary using this for loop. I know there is a built-in function called max, and you could actually extract the max value, source, and the key of this dictionary. Maybe there is a method to use that is way simpler, but we don't use the built-in functions a lot because we have to actually learn the logic of code. So rather than using the max function, actually understand how we got the max value. So you see we have Josh and Mr. Robot. Okay, so the first name is Josh. Beautiful. The value, oh my god, he took Josh as value. No way. That's stupid. That's stupid. Okay. I thought we were taking key and value through this code, but we are not taking it. That's why we have a bug. So it is a syntax error. Okay, let me ask, Why is this happening? Okay, is there a way to take the value and not the key stored in a dictionary? Beautiful. I'm just gonna enter that and see. Yes, when you iterate over a dictionary using dot items, you get both key and value for each entry. If you only want the value, you should iterate over the dictionary using dot values method instead. Okay. For bidders info and bidders log, bidder info is the dictionary, print bidders info. If you want to extract a specific value, just like the bid amounts for each dictionary. For bidders info and bidders log. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Was the dictionary and you wanted its values. Okay. For bids value and matrix dot values. Okay, so we're gonna need to use dot values. And then we're gonna specify one variable, which is the value. Okay, we're gonna delete the key because we are not using the key in that case. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna delete the key in here because we're not using it. And rather than items, we're gonna use the value. Okay. Oh, values. It's called values. Okay, beautiful. So if value is bigger than max value, then we're storing that max value. And here we are actually taking the key and the value, so we are going to use this. And this should function without any problems. Let's see. Okay, what's my name? I'm just gonna comment out all of this because making errors for some reason. Okay, let's run this again. So my name is Mr. Robot. My bid is gonna be $50. Yes, there is another one. It's called Josh, and he's willing to bid $100. There is no more bidders, and we have another error. String and integer, so we have the same error for some kind of reason. Why are we not taking the value? That's interesting. That is actually very interesting. We are not taking that value. Okay, no problem. We could actually take the key and we could actually iterate through this dictionary and take the key, and the value is gonna be bidder.log. yes, bidder.log. Then we are going to use this method. Just like that, we got the value, which is set. So if the value was bigger than the max value, then we are storing this value. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, so here we have value and key using this dot items method. So a value, which is this should function. Okay, let's see. Mr. Robot. The bid is gonna be $100. Yes, there is another one. It's called Josh, and he wants to bid $50. There is no more. Then we have another error. For some reason, string and integer. Hold on a second. Isn't this the value? And why? Huh? I don't get it. So I started the name and the bid. Oh my god, I'm stupid. I am very stupid. I'm stupid. I shouldn't have done this. We are iterating through the name. And the name is a key by itself. And it has a value which is a string. And that's why. Ah, okay. Okay, that's interesting. Ah, okay. Okay. Okay, that's very interesting. So to fix this problem, I have to specify the other key, which is the second key. So I have to iterate through the second key, not the first key. And to do that, I'm not gonna need okay. Because we have in a dictionary that has a name, it has a integer. Okay, I have a dictionary that has multiple types of data, and when I iterate and I want to iterate over the keys that have integer type of data and not the string type of data. Okay, see, there is a solution for this. So it iterates over only the keys in dictionary whose corresponding values are the integer type. You should iterate over the dictionaries.item method and use the isInstance function to check that type of the value. So here we have key and value, etc. So if isInstance value is integer, then we are going to make that okay. Okay, so we are checking about the value. So we are grabbing this case. Okay, interesting. That's interesting. That's very interesting. The value is gonna be this one. Actually, I'm gonna use the value back again because it's easier to read. Okay. So here we're gonna take the value, and I'm iterating over the key and the value, and I'm using the item method dot items. Beautiful. So we are taking the value that is an integer and we are applying to it our for loop. Okay, otherwise we are not gonna take that. And the same thing for here. For here we need the value that is okay. Here's a little bit difficult. So why not have a dictionary that has, for example, maybe the name, which is Josh, and then a column, and then we have the bit. This one's gonna be way easier for us, okay? Yes, that's gonna be way easier for us. So we're gonna use the name in here, and then we're gonna use the bit in here. And by using this, we are gonna have a way better dictionary. And for that case, I could delete this thing, delete this indentation over here, and it should work, right? So it's gonna be Mr. Robot. The bit is gonna be $100. Is there on bidders? Yes, Josh. It's gonna be $50. No, no more. And we have the same freaking error. Like, come on. Like, we are literally iterating over the value, and the value is like, come on, man. Like, come on. Why it's not functioning? Like, the value is an integer. Okay. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Let's test this thing again. Let's see. For here, we are iterating over the key and the value, and then you are comparing the value to the max value that we've got. Okay, let's see. Name is gonna be Mr. Robot. $100. Yes. Josh. It's gonna be $50. No. And we have the same error. I have to troubleshoot this ASAP. So we are taking a string for some reason. That's not fun. Let me use this in Thonny. Let's see what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, so this is my data. It's gonna be my name, Mr. Robot. Okay, problem, Mr. Robot. Okay, we have this data. And then I'm gonna enter. So rather than typing this all the time, I'm just gonna say it right away. Okay, to save some time for troubleshooting. Mr. Robot. But this is eventually a while loop. And we're gonna need to add 2 users to it. Okay, no problem. So I'm gonna leave it as it is. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna add an M because I'm freaking lazy. I'm gonna add $1. Then we have a yes. Then we're gonna repeat this. T. Then you have $2. Okay, let's see what happens in here. So the bed is 2. Oh my god, that's stupid. The bed that we are taking from here is not an integer because I didn't transform it to an integer from the very beginning of it. And that's stupid. That is stupid. Like, this is stupid for me. Mr. Robot. I'm gonna need $100. Yes, Josh. $50. No. Okay. So we have Mr. Robot, that's 1, which is winner name. And then we have the max value, which is correct. So the code's functions, we are comparing the 2 values, and we are taking the name as it's supposed to be. And the problem was about this integer. It wasn't an integer, it was string. From all the beginning, I was storing a string, and that's so stupid. But we have troubleshooted it, and the code functions. Yay! Hooray! So I'm gonna take a look at the demo, and I'm gonna copy this print statement, this prompt actually. I'm gonna copy this prompt, and I'm gonna just print it in here. Okay. Do you wish to continue? No. And then code exists. Beautiful. Okay. So let's catch this. Not repeat, but here actually. I'm gonna need a string. I'm gonna delete this and paste this. Beautiful. So the winner is, I'm gonna need an F string to add my variables. Okay, to the prompt. I'm gonna need curly brackets, and I'm gonna add the winner name. The winner is Mr. Robot, and the bet is gonna be the max value. Yes. And the bet, oh sorry. I'm gonna place it in here. Yes, over here. Here's gonna be the max value. Beautiful. So let's experiment with this. So we have bet 1, and the bet is gonna be $10. And yes, there is bet 2, and he has $100. Yes, there is bet 3, and he has $300. There's no more. The winner is bet 3 with a $300. Okay, beautiful. So the script works just fine, and we're done. Okay, beautiful. So we are here for day 10. Okay, let's check this one and see what we have. The motivation. Let's grasp the motivation.
Congratulations on completing day 9. Now today I want to share with you a trick that's really useful for keeping your motivations high. And the idea is to make sure that you are accountable by not just yourself, but also somebody else. So find a member of your family, find a friend, find a buddy, and just tell them that you...
This is the worst idea. Never tell somebody what you are up to, because if you did, your brain is gonna just extract the dopamine that you have made it and you didn't. So never share what you are up to, and work hard behind the scenes. Okay?
You've committed to doing this 100 days of code. And then they'll check up on you every week, asking you, what have you made? What have you learned? And then you can send them the projects you've built, like Handman or Treasure Island, so that they can share.
They're just gonna laugh at you, because these projects are compared to true games or true auction programs. They are nothing. So never show your little projects to anyone. They're just gonna laugh at you, first. Second, if you have made something that is actually a success, and something that is a big project that made some revenue or something like that, never show it again, because they didn't support you from the beginning, and they're not gonna support you at the last. They're just gonna say, okay, that's fine, he's successful, I'm not. And then just gonna be jealousy, etc. They're gonna try to profit from you. So the lesson is, don't trust anyone, don't share what you are up to, work behind the scenes, and let your success speak about you. That's it.
In your
And fuck anybody else.
learning and what you've been building. Now, what this is really important for is that you can't just tell yourself, maybe I'll give myself a day off today. Now you've got somebody who's going to hold you accountable to make sure that you keep showing up and you keep persevering. So give that a go, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey there, welcome to day 10 of 100 Days of Code. And today we're going to learn about functions with outputs. Previously, we've already
Okay, so let's learn functions that gives you output, which is pretty normal.
seen the other two flavors of functions, a plain function and also functions with inputs. But in today's lessons, we're going to be using the skills that we've learned, and we're going to be extending our knowledge of functions to build a calculator app.
Yay, we're gonna build a calculator. Right now we have AI, for example Gemini 3. It builds you a GUI of a calculator, and it is 100% functionable, which is crazy. In like 5 seconds or even less. Man, that's crazy. let me just experiment that with you. So here we have Gemini. Yeah. We're gonna use the Canva option and use Gemini 3 Pro. I'm gonna say to him, make a Python GUI user interface fully functionable calculator. And then he's gonna make it in seconds. Like, it's crazy. So he defines the project scope, he defines etc. So look at this code. Like, he makes it in no freaking time. GUI. Like, imagine GUI. He's importing Tkinter, this library, and he's importing from it this module, which is message box, etc. And he's still making code. Now he's done. Okay, let's run the code and see. Oh my god, do I have an error? What? I thought he makes a fully functional calculator, but in Python he doesn't do it. Export to Colab. It seems that he made an error. Okay, let me change the prompt and actually say make a functional calculator, a fully functional calculator with all the math high school terms. See what's gonna happen for this. So what I mean by high school terms, like ln or derivative or exponential, expo. Okay, all of these terms and theories that you learn at the high school math class, it should make us a calculator that is having these functions, like fully functionable. Let's see. So it's generating this code, hundreds of lines, like in seconds, which is crazy. And he's defining these functions, a lot of functions. And he's catching error by making this, by employing this method, which is the try method. And he's just crazy. Like, look at this. We have the log, we have the trigonometry, which is tan, cos, and sinus. Cosinus and tan. Okay, and here we have the opposite of them. We have here the power, x power of y. Here we have les racines, which are the roots. Okay, let's see if root 2 is functioning. My god, this is crazy. Let's see if cos minus 1 is functioning. Oh my god, here's an error. Sinus minus 1. We got an error. Okay. Doesn't seem to be functionable. So the cos and sinus are not functioning. This calculator. We just have errors. Let's see the one. Yeah, another error. So these are not functioning. Okay, we have P. Yes, that's functionable. Let's see if the exponential functions as well. Okay, it functions. Okay, here we switch to the rods rather than degree. Let's see now if the cosinus functions. Yeah, still an error. So it's not fully functionable, but it is very good. Like, for normal math, it's pretty good. Okay, so this one functions as well. So yeah, it's not bad. It's really not bad. This preview is not bad actually. It's crazy what AI could do. Like, it's not perfect. Needs work. Needs troubleshoot, but like 300 lines of codes like HTML, etc. It's crazy. Like, this is crazy, bro. Crazy time we live at, right?
I think at some point in every programmer's lives, they will have built a calculator app. So if that hasn't already happened to you, then today is your lucky day, because that's exactly what we're going to be making. So it's a simple text-based calculator, and we can start off by writing a number and then picking one of the operations: plus, minus, multiply, or divide. So I'm going to divide this by 2. And then it shows us the full calculation: 5 divided by 2 equals 2.5. And now we can continue.
This is very easy. Crazy easy. So the problem, I think, for me that I don't know how to do is to store the operator, maybe divide operator or multiplication operator. Let me just play with that a little bit. So okay, let me store divide. Maybe there is a function in Python that has this. Let me print it. I don't think so. Divide. Nah. So this methodology is not gonna work. Maybe we could use if statements. So if pick an operator, if operator, like operator was equivalent to a string, which is this string, then we are going to execute, hold on a second, we need a column. Then we are going to execute, for example, number 1, and we are going to execute this operator with number 2. Okay, like, you get the idea. And then we're going to assign this to a result. Okay, and you are going to print this result. As easy. And because we have made this result, we could make another elif statements in a while loop, because we want the player to have the choice to play again or no, to continue or to not continue. Then we're gonna have the operator if it was the integrated AI knows what I'm willing to do. So yeah. So if it was that, I'm gonna have a result variable. It's gonna be number 1 multiplied with number 2, etc. So this project, as it seems, is a very silly and stupid project. Is this the final project? No freaking way. No freaking way, because this is a very stupid project. Like, very stupid. Like, I know how to make it. Okay, so because this is a stupid project, maybe we have to learn about functions with output. So I think, oh my god, it's pretty late. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna make another live stream. And it's gonna be 24 hours live stream. So we're gonna start from day 10 and we're gonna push it to day 30. And if we still had time after that, then we're gonna push it to day 40. If we had time after that, which I don't guess, we're gonna push it to day 50. Okay. So we're gonna have a challenge tomorrow to have a coding day. So I guess I'm gonna start the coding day. Let me just access the calendar. Yeah. So this is the calendar that I have. Okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna wake up at 12 p.m. actually. eat my breakfast, etc. I'm gonna have to pray. So from 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. I'm gonna start this stream, and it's gonna finish the day afterwards, 4 p.m., 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. Okay, and I'm gonna try to challenge myself to make as much projects as possible without cheating, and we should think through them. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. Goodbye.